We are live. Where are
And
we?
alive.
Let's see. Is this it? How's everyone doing? Welcome to the second anniversary of Mainville ATV on YouTube. We're watching the chat right now. I hope you guys can hear me all right. We had to get real creative to set up this live, so it's basically a cell phone, and it's all we've got. So I tried getting the computer going and everything, but we just couldn't get it done. So a cell phone on the actual cell tower network is the only way we can do this because our internet's so bad. So
Thank God for coronavirus, though. Unlimited data.
yeah, so we have plenty of data going on. We are watching the chat, so if you guys want to talk, now's the time. 3 years. This is 2 years on
He's
YouTube.
from the future. Yeah, it's the only explanation. Well, if we're still going a year from now, that's good.
This is actually crazy how this all works out. We have a chat down here on a laptop that we're watching. It's on the phone up here. We're seeing all that going on. It's very, very busy. Hello from Swiss New Sweden.
Oh my God, it's like 1 a.m. over there.
We are doing very good. Thanks for asking. What side-by-side are you asking about, Motorman? Hello, PI.
Oh, probably the Kubota.
We've had a few side-by-sides here on the channel, so I'm not sure which one you're talking about. We've had CF Motos, Kubotas, we've had the Maverick, all sorts of different side-by-sides that different local companies have lent us. Hello, Kentucky.
And PEI.
Next sled kind of depends on where we move. We might be moving. We are doing very good, thanks for asking. I was hoping to catch the live stream. I have to go to work on my ATV. Well, it doesn't sound so bad if you get to go on your quad.
Albany, New York. Oh,
New Brunswick.
Dad. She's about to pop up
Oh.
there. She's down here, though.
There we go.
Hi.
So
Not too many people calling us sweetie on here, so I was caught my eye.
I've got my parents watching the stream, everyone, so be nice in the chat, okay?
My mom's watching the stream too, from work.
Hello from house arrest. That sounds like a story. Hi from Hanmer, I recognize that. Maverick Trail. We never had a Maverick Trail. We had a Maverick Sport. That was from Pete Sales and Service. That was a demo unit they lent to us for a ride or two, and we actually gave that back to them.
Yeah.
Thanks for the congratulations on the 2 years. Hello, Newfoundland. You're on my bucket list, by the way. I want to get out there. It's one of 2 places in Canada I haven't been. We may or may not be moving to Saskatchewan.
Oh, your dad is on. That is cool as hell. I like him and the videos. That's nice.
My dad seems to be a very popular guy,
Yeah.
especially because of the trapping series. So my dad and his wife Beverly, they're trappers, and if you haven't watched that series, it's super good to watch. Very informative. I'm gonna pat myself on the back with that one.
Yeah, there's a summer one and a winter one, so big difference between the two. Even just accessing the hunt camp in the winter is a whole different story, how you have to prepare and everything. So it's pretty cool to check out.
Who else do we have here? We have Pennsylvania. We have Buffalo, New York, Newfoundland.
My mom's saying, shh, don't tell anyone. Because I told them she's on from work. She's working from home. She's not like in somewhere streaming.
Is that Beverly asking? Oh,
No, my mom.
how do I like my eggs? I just like my eggs to make it. Honestly, if they get there, that's pretty good. Then you have some choices, so I won't be too picky about that.
Some people from New Brunswick. Someone's complimenting your dad again. He's old school. I like that.
Drone footage from the beaver vids were awesome. Thank you. I didn't make the drone, but I did fly it.
Greasy Fitting is saying, Mom, don't worry. He's watching from work too, so you're not the only one.
Another New Brunswick, Winnipeg. That's a new one.
Edwin's making fun of me for mixing up Sweden and Switzerland.
So a while back, we have a couple fans from Sweden and Switzerland, and Cass got them mixed up. And the best part is, all of them are making fun of her for mixing it up. It's a thing.
I'm not going to get away from it. But
Sudbury, Maine.
someone's asking if I'm ever going to upgrade or when I'm going to upgrade to a Grizzly. As it stands, I don't think I will.
It's not even an upgrade.
It's a
So
it's just a different feel to it that I don't think I'll ever enjoy unless I get significantly bigger, and I'm working really hard not to. So I think I'm just gonna stick with my Kodiak for now. Really happy.
for those saying say hi to your dad for me, you can actually say hi to him. He's in the chat.
Hi from Alaska.
Alaska would be dope.
I'd love to.
I'd
go
love
there.
to see that.
It's my parents' dream, actually, one of them. If you move to Saskatchewan, you can ride with Osta Cruiser. Ooh, if anyone can let him know, we're down.
Where we would be moving is actually very close to where he lives.
Yeah.
And I didn't try to find out where he lives. He literally advertises it. So
Through years of research, we now know.
you have around 10 viewers in my part of Ireland.
Yeah, Ryan, we've been chatting on Instagram too.
That's crazy cool. I
Yeah.
don't know what the riding scene's like in Ireland, but that's actually awesome.
Hills for days, I guess. Did the
Cool.
fuel tuner help your 1000 run cooler?
I actually have a video on that in the Outlander mod playlist. If you go there, you can actually see the difference. I actually used a temp gauge to record the difference between tuning and non-tuning. And the difference was, if I remember right, something like 80 degrees Celsius on some of the pipes. So yes, it did help me run cooler.
Even on the Kodiak, it makes a big difference. We had to take ours out, I can't remember why, for a little bit. And even running in colder weather, I could feel my bike warming up right by my leg in the front left-hand side. Other Yamaha riders, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, big difference with the tuner.
Can-Am for the wife. If it were up to me, she would be on a 650 or an 850, but she doesn't like them. We tried them out. She just doesn't like the way they feel. You can watch a couple of our recent videos and she explains why, especially in the Kodiak review, the 5 like and dislike video we have.
Just feels clunky.
Oh, what do we got?
Someone from Michigan, Montreal. I actually used to live in Montreal in Saint-Hubert, so the south.
Oh, I see
South
Dave.
side.
Hi, Dave.
Hey!
Orange and orange.
Here for the pretty girls, plural. There's a party I didn't know about.
For those asking about our audio video vlogging setup, basically all I did was clamp a GoPro in front of my mouth and I literally just edit Cass and I's audio together. We tried using different audio setups so we can talk to each other like an intercom, but it doesn't work the way you think it would. It's very, very difficult to do the YouTube thing while using one of those intercom setups.
We're still waiting for the GoPro 8 to come out with a cage that has the audio port so that we're not compromising the waterproofness of our setup by drilling into stuff or making it kind of work otherwise. So yeah, we're just waiting for that to come out.
Greetings from Finland. We got some Finnish folks. How do you say? We always say sauna, but I kept getting in shit.
Dad's
So my
shaking
dad's
his head right
wife's
now.
Finn, and it's like sauna or something. You're supposed to say it?
Sauna.
Yeah.
Sauna.
Honda is king in Ireland, but Yamaha is creeping in. I actually find that surprising.
My mom said a friend from work is also watching. She texted a bunch of people.
Oh, your dad's on.
Oh shit! Hey, Dad.
There's so many comments here. We're trying to like get back and forth.
Who's behind you, Cass? Thanks, Dad. Good dad joke.
The dog is in the house because he needs a lot of attention. She doesn't like Can-Am. This woman has taste.
How can you tell if your battery is not holding a charge? Riding today, but when took a break, hard to start the bike again.
So one of the ways you can tell if your battery's not taking a charge, if you can get it started, so that means your battery's good. But when you're running, you can actually see the overcharge. So if your battery is 12.6 volts, like it should be in a perfect scenario, when you start it up, it should actually go over that with regulation. So you should see like 13 point something volts or 14 volts. So that tells you if it's charging or not.
What type of ATV do you suggest for a new rider?
For a new rider, it kind of depends on other experiences. Like if you're new to anything off-road or power sports as a whole, definitely smart off in the smaller CC department. I would just grab something reliable. When I started out, it was all on 3-wheelers with my dad at the trap line and stuff like that. So that was great. So 250 cc's and 200s, 180s or 185s, whatever they called them. And then I went to a 450 Kodiak single, and that was great. And then I ended up on the Outlander. But if you're already into dirt biking or sea-dooing and whatever, and you have that feel for power sports, you can be a little more brave than that and go for something bigger.
So James Fisher's on, Rebel Double on the double.
Hello, James
From
Fisher.
Saskatchewan.
He's one of our Facebook group guys. He's always commenting and sharing really great photos that he takes of his.
So you were going to call him a Facebook groupie.
He's not a groupie. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
someone had
Scotland.
Yeah.
New York. Found your channel looking for Skidoo 900 Turbo as I own one.
Love when you and your dad go out for rides. God, Steve, you're getting a lot of.
My dad's really popular.
Yeah. You got some street cred here.
A dual slip-on. The honest truth with dual slip-ons is they don't actually have a whole lot of benefit other than a different sound and look cooler. I've seen a lot of these exhausts on the dyno, and taking advantage of a dual is actually difficult because the actual header pipe is only one pipe. So your flow is dictated by that. So if you had true duals, like 2 headers somehow, then that's where that would change. But the honest truth is, as far as power and stuff, the duals don't actually do anything for you. They just look sweet.
And as soon as you get into the headers, doesn't that affect the warranty more than just a slip-on?
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. You'll have to do a lot of research. If you need to know more, try to hit me up after the live, and I'll try and break it down for you.
Yeah. Someone mentioned how our audio is good. We already went over that, but everyone else's machine is too loud for their mic setup. So actually, we just recently installed, as you probably saw in our latest video, one of the quiet core inserts from Dirty Life, which makes a significant difference. So if you're thinking that my ATV has been loud in the last few videos, that should be fixed now. Mine was super loud before, and we're hoping to fix that.
Aaron Whitner says it was really funny when my dad dropped all the eggs in the trapping
All
video.
but one, and then threw the last one.
For anyone who knows what we're talking about with the eggs, I want you all to make fun of my dad for losing all the eggs in the live section, please.
Is it the EOTA trails where you are? Have you been out? Many trails in Ontario are still closed. So no, it's not the EOTA trails here. We run off the OFATV trails through the Renfrew County ATV Club. Now, our trails are still closed. The club trails are still closed till May 1st. And there's a county-owned trail that goes alongside our main boulevard that's closed till then as well. Crown Land is still open, so we haven't been out yet. We're kind of playing it by ear to see if that does happen in the near future.
My dad did lose all the eggs. I saved one, and he decided to throw it on me. So no, Beverly, he didn't lose 11. He lose all 12.
There's people saying that, yeah, even the egg you tried to save. What tires performed better, your Assassinators or your Moto Havocs?
So obviously with this whole quarantine thing, I haven't had a whole lot of chance to try the Moto Havocs in their natural habitat of mud. I can't speak for the Assassinators. I ran them for over a year. They're a very good tire functionally. They're super great in the water, especially the 10 wides. It gives a lot of flotation, especially with the paddles and stuff like that. And they are obviously very good in mud. The downside is they're 71 pounds, 71 and a half pounds. That's also a video if you haven't seen that one. So it was hard on my power steering. I was lucky I didn't blow a diff or anything yet, knock on wood. But yeah, super, super great tire. And I have reasonable expectations for these Moto Havocs. I'm really excited for them. I think it'll be a lot easier on the machine. The honest truth, I don't know if they're going to be as good as the Assassinators in that specific habitat. But when you get onto the hard pack and the trail, I think they'll be a much more overall good tire.
We have a hi from Norway.
Norway.
The birth of rock and roll. That's one of Kyle's bucket list places as well.
The Norway metal scene is something I need to see in my life at some point.
So is it true, Cass, that you used to ride motocross or race motocross? So half true. I did start on dirt bikes when I was pretty young. My dad got me on an 80cc Honda. He's going to correct me in the chat here. A little yellow one, and a homemade 50cc dirt bike out of a lawnmower motor. So kind of the backyard putting around kind of stuff. We got out to a gravel pit a time or two, Then I upgraded to borrowing his Enduro a few times, little Kawasaki. But for the most part, or not for the most part, I've never raced motocross. I wish I had. But now I'm on, I don't know if you can see it in the back behind the skidoo, a street bike. So a little bit different, but still 2 wheels. So I get that for the summer.
We have a question about ITP Cryptids. So the Cryptids are a jack of all, master and untired, in my opinion. I think they're very good, and a lot of people don't give them credit. They come stock on a lot of Can-Ams for most models, I would say, in the higher end, especially the XMR side. I wouldn't throw them away too quickly. I loved those tires, but they definitely started lacking when you wanted to go play in the water in the really serious mud. But you know, there's other money, you could put money in better places than tires right away.
Well, we've got someone from the Sioux. That's where Kyle's
Sault Ste.
grandparents
Marie.
are from.
Yeah, I got family out there.
What do you think of the ITP Cryptids?
I just covered that.
Okay. Hi, I'm from Armpire. I got a Yamaha Raptor 350 for my first ATV. Is that good enough for the trails around here? So RC ATV trails.
We've had Raptors come out with us in the past. A lot of RC ATV trails are marked. So if you have one of those maps from OFATV or RC ATV, you'll see green and blue trails. Those are very, very easy trails. And you'll pretty much get through everything. The only thing is, like, in the spring and fall, when the floods come in and stuff like that, and there's a lot of water, I would start to get concerned. But for the most part, 95% of the time, as long as you're on a green or blue trail in OFATV, you'll be good to go in a Raptor.
So are you guys still thinking about moving? And if so, where? Thinking about it constantly. So with my work is what's making us move. So we would be moving to Dundurn, Saskatchewan, kind of south of Saskatoon. But again, with everything going on, everything's been pushed to the right and delayed. So we're still waiting to find out and get the official word so we can put this house up for sale. Hi from Connecticut.
Oh, for those who have cryptids, I see this. Who is this here? Throttle Junkie. There was a model year or two where the cryptids were ripping. And I know a lot of dealers were covering it. It was actually a defect. So I would check on that first. Mine lasted, they were honestly maybe
pretty good, not bad.
Pretty good, not bad. They were in very good shape when I sold them, and I sold them with 1,500 kilometers. You could barely tell they were worn.
So someone's looking for a bike for about $4,000. There's a 95 Honda sold. What would you look at when buying a used machine? I'm assuming that's what you're asking.
If I were buying a used ATV, the first rule of thumb is believe nobody. So if because like, look at my quad.
Lady-driven winter sword.
You see how clean that quad looks? Like, just get Cass to move over for a second. You would never know that I thrash and beat the crap out of that quad. So somebody who can really detail and really polish up and just make sure the aesthetic stuff is good to go. You can't believe anybody, because I could sell that and say, oh yeah, I don't go mudding, because you can't find a clump of mud on that thing. So the first rule of thumb is never believe anybody when you're buying a used machine. Always test ride it, make sure you know what you're looking for. So a good piece of advice is bring a mechanic. Bring a guy who's mechanically inclined, doesn't have to be licensed or something like that. You're looking for clunks, you're looking for U-joints, wheel bearings, tie rods, all those kind of things, and just see the condition of it. And the bigger reason to do that is to make sure that this person actually maintains or not. So if it's somebody you can see put some pride into it, then you can tell a lot more about what you want to pay for that machine. So.
And the hours too versus kilometers.
Yeah, so you can have something with really high kilometers and really low hours, and that tells you more that they were trail riding. If you see a lot of hours and no mileage, well, they were mud riding.
Or working hard.
These aren't dedicated rules of thumb, but just things to consider.
My mom said you ran full blast till you were out of gas. Hi from Connecticut. Someone's having problems with their cryptids. They have 280 kilometers on them. Cool, yep. Have you had major issues with the max frame navigating on tighter trails versus a regular frame?
Very rarely has it ever actually caught me in tight trails. It's something I consider, but it actually hasn't held me back, really. I wouldn't say it's held us back at all. There's like 2 things that come to mind, but in those moments I was able to just work around it. To do it all over again, I would definitely do a 1000 XTP short frame, just because we bought that with the intent of cast riding on the back, and then she built that machine. So
within 6 months.
yeah,
So
I would rather have a short frame overall, but the long frame does have some benefits.
lessons learned. Don't trust your wife. Just buy 2 to start, which is why we have the Skidoo that we wanted, and then we're gonna go from there.
I have never swamped a machine. I have never swamped a machine at all.
Someone's asking, what trade are you? I was artillery in Manitoba for a few years, so I'm a logistics officer, specialized as an ammo tech officer. So for anyone who knows the area in Dundurn is an ammo depot, and that's where I'm going to be posted to.
What else we got? I wouldn't try to answer every question.
What's the fuel range of the Kodiak?
The Kodiak, in best case scenarios, will make it about 180 kilometers as it sits. Keeping in mind this machine's heavily upgraded, clutching and tires and the whole bit. We've added a bit of weight. The way it draws in air is different. You'll get much better fuel mileage on a stock one versus ours, but yeah, she gets about 180 kilometers, whereas mine gets about 200 in that same condition. But I actually have a bigger tank, so it's relative.
What's the status of the trailer?
I really wanted to get started on the trailer, but with coronavirus going around, we can't get started.
Yeah.
So the first step in our trailer build was we were going to have the floor sealed, and we have a deal with somebody that was going to do it for us, but right now they can't operate. And without getting the floor sealed, I actually can't build up yet. I can't put in mounts, I can't put in all the stuff and everything we want to do. So,
and even ordering the brackets and everything, you can't do that right now. They're not coming in. So, what are good upgrades for a Can-Am Outlander 850 XTP?
Good upgrades are always, my opinion, of course. If you look at some of our videos, the recent one we did was 5 likes and dislikes for the Outlander, and I actually talk about that exact subject. My favorite upgrades are clutching, tires, and then I would get into some sort of ECU flash, exhausts, that kind of thing, pretty much in that order.
Someone asked if we use Armor All for the plastics.
We do not use Armor All at all. We only use 2 products made by the exact same people.
So Muck Off, a cleaner, which comes in a concentrate format, which we just add to water. We use a Windex bottle, and then we just spray that on, hose it off. There is a snow foam version if you've got a foam gun, but we use that rarely. Just it's too much effort.
And once it's
fill up
clean,
the snow gun.
we polish it with Muck Off again, but it's the silicone shine. We've tried a lot of different brands. This is the stuff for us, and as long as they're making it, we will be buying it.
I bought Kyle a case of 12 for Christmas, just because we use it all the time, and it not only shines it up and cleans it up from our last ride, but it helps the mud come off from the next ride too, just to keep that cycle going.
So we're constantly refilling. We go to dirtylife.ca and we buy bulk, and that's the only way we clean our machines.
Someone said they just ordered their RJ exhaust for their Sportsman. Thanks for suggesting them for parts and accessories. Great company. So I guess he's talking about Dirty Life.
Yeah, Dirty Life, as far as I'm concerned, is the way I would go at it. There's a lot of ways you can do business. For us, we get 95% of our stuff through dirtylife.ca.
So when riding the trails, in the summer, do you find Gator waders too hot? So we used to ride with neoprene. We had some Cabela's, we had
Which
some
you can
Canadian
actually
Tire
see
Specials.
right up there.
Yeah. And you would stay dry from the mud and swamp water, but when you would take them off, you'd be just as wet from sweat anyway. So the Gator waders, compared to the neoprenes, are significantly improved. They breathe a lot better. If you're throwing around in mud, yeah, you're gonna get hot and sweaty to a certain extent. Not as bad as the neoprenes though. So overall, my answer to that question is no. I don't find it too hot in comparison, and it's well worth it.
So what we do for a living, Cass is military, and I'm ex-military, and as a HD mechanic, I take odd work or I do work here in the shop, and of course we have the YouTube channel. So I pretty much do the YouTube channel full time. Yeah,
now that it's a business, as of January 1st was our big jump to making it an official business. So we've got some media outlets. As you guys probably saw this winter, we were doing some media coverage with Dave and Ange from Glasgow's Media. So we're kind of trying to expand our business in those areas. So lots to come. Very
To
exciting.
answer Beverly's question, we will be doing sort of a wrap on the trailer, and it will have our family name all over it.
And someone said we're gonna love Saskatchewan, tons of trails and riding and rallies. And actually, one of the perks of where I'm gonna be working is I can ride my ATV and or sled to work into my designated parking spot. So I'm actually so excited to do that. That's gonna be super cool. Different way to live in Canada.
Do you think the torque locker made a big difference? Yes. It made a huge difference. And what happens is some people don't actually like it. The thing you need to be clear on is the torque locker is very, very dedicated. If you're a big trail rider and you're just going through puddles, please don't install a torque locker. You're not going to like it. But for those adventurous types that want real four-wheel drive, true four-wheel drive, then yeah, that's what you would go for. But you really need to be on that extreme end to make it worthwhile. Because it's very hard to operate four-wheel drive on the trail. So if you like trail riding and four-wheel for whatever reason, you're not going to like it. Because both tires are so locked together as true four-wheel drive works, when you pin it, you actually can't steer, or very, very limited steering. So you actually have to let go of the throttle, steer, and then punch it again in four-wheel to actually turn. So that's why it's very good in mud, not great for trail riding. So just do a lot of research on that. Again, if you need to know more, just message us afterwards.
So no, we were not affected by the Snowmageddon. That was mostly the East Coast through Newfoundland and whatnot. Last year we got quite a bit. And in terms of dirt bike trails, so if you're willing to drive a little bit, I know you specified within Redford County area, Johnstown is very dirt bike friendly. They even have the lips on the turns so you can kind of ride that out. So really great spot to go dirt biking. Around here, unfortunately, the only trail access that you would have on a dirt bike is Crown Land. So Black Bay and Barron Canyon. If you want to unload at mile marker 9, that's a great spot. A lot of people start from there, but you're pretty limited in terms of dirt bike trail access.
Some of you are asking about merchandise, stickers, hats, shirts, that kind of thing. So stickers, they can be purchased by emailing us at mainvilletv@gmail.com, or if you have Facebook, you can contact us through the Facebook page or group. We also have Instagram and TikTok, so you can message us anywhere there and we'll explain how those are purchased. As far as the hats and the shirts, they are sold through dirtylife.ca. You can go to the merchandise section and you'll find our hats and shirts. You can select your size and order it right off the website.
Blazers ATVing, you are welcome, because you know what? It gives us something to do tonight too, given the quarantine that's going on.
Honestly, I didn't expect 115 people to be here, so it's pretty wild. It's about 114 more than I expected, but
other than our parents.
Yeah, which are here, which is cool.
How many kilometers do you put on in a season?
In a good season, we usually average about 1,500 to 2,000. This season, with the way it works, we had so many different machines that were lent to us by different companies that we only put on about 1,500 kilometers this year. Keeping in mind, we do a lot of mud riding, so we don't rack up massive kilometers. We just struggle for hours on end going hole to hole. They're only about a kilometer apart, so it's different like that.
Yeah. Shout out to our local MSE op. And then someone's looking at comparing a King Quad 750, the new one, with a Kodiak.
The King Quad 750, power-wise, performance-wise, will absolutely win against that Kodiak. I can't speak for reliability of that machine because I've never owned one. You'd have to find somebody who actually knows a little more about that. But don't let the Yamaha slip from under you. It's not a slouch. It's a good machine. They're unique. They're a little gutless on the top end especially, but they can definitely get the job done. So both are very good options.
My Aunt Helen and my Uncle Dave are on, so hi. Specifically, Uncle Dave was saying hi, so I'll say hi back. Any issues leaving the XMR 1000 with stock fueling and running hot? I
never had that issue because I tuned and piped right away.
So, can't speak to that too much.
Yeah, and in my video, I was recording like 300 degrees Celsius on some of the head pipes, and after tuning and fueling and all that stuff that we did in dyno work, we actually ended up down to 220 or something. Don't quote me on those numbers. It's in the video. It was a while ago.
Someone said, what did I miss about Saskatchewan? I stepped out. Just basically, Kyle and I might be moving there once coronavirus is done.
sorted.
Yeah. How do you,
Stay
you
inside.
don't even know what to say. Oops. Actually, you guys are answering your own questions on here.
We're just filtering through all these questions. There's so many.
TikTok sells info to China, their own words.
You guys live in Canada, you go out to swampy areas. How do you not get in trouble with wildlife, fish, and game? We don't get in trouble by being fast. I'm just kidding. No, a lot of the places that we go, we aren't actually traveling. Cass and I specifically aren't traveling in like lakes and stuff like that. We're in the middle of the bush where some water collects in a low point. Like, have we gone in lakes and stuff like that? Sure, but
just to wash off.
Just to wash off or whatever. We're in and out, that kind of thing. So if they wanted to make a big stink about it, they had plenty of chances and never did. So I don't know.
Did you upgrade your rear diff on your Can-Am when you went to Naders, and now the 32s?
I am on stock axles and stock diffs. Everyone never believes me, but they are in perfect running condition at this point in time.
And same with mine, just to get ahead of that ball, Kurt. Get ahead of the ball.
This is the problem with live, is you can't edit
There's
this.
no beep. So same with mine. I'm still running stock axles, even with the lift, the spacers, the bigger tires on the Kodiak, and it's been handling it just fine.
How often do you think you should do an oil change on the Kodiak? So first, I would start by looking in your book and seeing what they designate. And then what I would do above that is, if you're really hard on the machine, if you're working it like we are, always check your oils, always check for water, always check for damages, look for leaks, that kind of thing. And then what I usually do is, after really big major events, like weekend long events, I'll change the oil anyway. And for my quad specifically, not only will I change the oil, I'll actually change the transmission gearbox oil.
So someone asked, do we have hours where we can't ride? Technically, there's nothing in the bylaws that explicitly states that we can't ride after hours. However, there is a quiet hour in effect as of from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m., I believe.
That's only in municipalities. We're so close and surrounded by so much crown land that you can go out there and do whatever you want at any point in time if you want.
And the snowmobiles are out the latest throughout the year, so it's kind of accepted here. You're not going to get stopped for anything like that.
John Chafing? Are you chafing? I don't know how to, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that.
John.
As far as clutching, especially for the Can-Ams, the ATV side more so, the primary is your best bang for your buck. So if you're going to do any clutching, I would do a one-piece clutch, like QSE, STM, whoever else, doesn't matter, CV Tech. Do the primary first. The secondary isn't as necessary right off the bat. I would save that for a later date once you have more money after spending on other upgrades and that kind of thing.
Someone's asking how many kilometers you have on your bike.
I have like 3,500 kilometers or so. It's 2 years old.
And then, do we know anything about the Maverick diff upgrade for the XMR?
So the Maverick diff,
I heard it was doable.
I've never done this. I'm seeing a lot of it on groups. So first of all, the 19 and 20 diffs went to a straight cut gear, making it a lot stronger. So if you were going to do a diff upgrade, I would actually just go to the 19-20 diff with the straight cut gears, and you'll do much better if you're 18 and below. The Maverick diff sort of has different perks, but the honest truth, for what you're doing, I would just go and get a direct fit, no questions asked, straight cut gear, and you'll do better off. If you need more information, again, message us afterwards or hit up those Can-Am groups.
So Keith is asking, he has a 2019 King Quad 750, and the wife has a 2020 Grizzly 700. The King Quad power steering is weak as best. So for whoever was asking for the comparison earlier, I think Keith is kind of get some information to you on that.
Has it gotten weaker over time? I know a lot of power steering, especially electric power steering and the way they're designed, they can definitely wear out over time.
Yours did.
Especially the electrical components. You can actually do a lot of testing on that if you're electronically savvy, and just check different resistances on different ends of it and that kind of thing. But if it's just who has a better power steering, I don't know, but I would definitely dig into that. It's happened to me in the past, just recently. Pete Sales and Service helped us out big time by actually repairing it for me. It was worn out and tired because of the assassinators is all it was. A lot of it was electrical, and the other half of it was basically just the worm gears and stuff that are just tired, sloppy.
So there's a few people just tuning in, and even though it's our first live, I believe this video is going to be posted to our channel afterwards, so feel free to go back and...
It should be, but
Yeah. We don't know. We're
honestly, we've been doing this for 2 years, and I don't know what I'm doing still.
If you do an upgrade, would you go with a shorter, with an XMR again, or something shorter? Like you said before, he'd probably do the XTP 850.
1000 short frame.
Sorry, 1000 short frame. Because we only got the max frame for me to be able to ride 2-up. So again,
yeah. So you can get a short frame 1000 XTP, and then you can just do the rad relocate and everything else for it right after that. So that's the only way to get an Outlander 1000 to basically XMR status. The only problem is the gearboxes are different between the XTP and the XMR. So you'd either have to switch that out or do extra maintenance and just keep an eye on it.
Self-title's asking you when you're upgrading to a Polaris.
Never. I never. I really want to try a lot of different Polaris machines. I have no problems with them, but as far as preference, it's always going to be Can-Am for me.
Ooh, this one's good. From Clutch 71. If you couldn't buy a Can-Am, what would be your next choice?
Say that again?
If you couldn't buy a Can-Am, what would be your next choice?
If I couldn't buy a Can-Am, it would be a Polaris Turbo S or a Pro XP.
After you just...
If I couldn't buy a Can-Am. Can-Am's my preference, and if you're telling me I can't do it, then yes. I actually have no qualms with any brands. It's nothing like that. I don't make fun of other brands other than the odd, little dig or whatever.
Steve.
But as far as machines go, Polaris is obviously doing a good job, and if I couldn't do Can-Am, that's probably where I'd end up. I'm a sucker for the big power.
What fun trips do you have planned?
Right now, nothing.
Nothing. We had a bunch of fun ones planned, but they're all getting canceled. So maybe driving cross country with the quads in tow, but Kyle's probably shaking his head inside going, stop promising what we don't know yet.
I would love to do a lot of things. We have planned to do a lot of things. Sometimes it doesn't work out, and when you do finally get it to work out, there's a pandemic. So
what does that mean?
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure somebody gave us $2. Franco Prez Gone Sledding. I'm not sure if that's your name. Thank you for the $2 super chat.
Yeah, that's so cool. Thank you. I have no idea what that means.
I can't believe how many questions we're actually getting. We're at 124 people, which is super, super cool. I appreciate you folks so much.
At your closeout, humor us and show us that you're wearing pants. I'll save you the suspense.
We are wearing pants. That would have been hilarious. Next time, I promise I will not be wearing pants.
I'll be...
Beverly, I did love Baby Hulk. So if you don't know what Baby Hulk is...
Oh, it was so fun to drive.
Beverly from our trapping series, she has a quad, and it's a Kawasaki, and we called it Baby Hulk. Urgh! And it's actually a super, super awesome machine. I kind of made fun of it a little bit, but when I drove it, it was just a blast.
Someone's got a 20 Honda Rancher. How high in tire size can they go before a gear ratio?
The honest truth is I wouldn't know. I've never owned one, and honestly, I'm just not experienced in that. I know a lot of the side-by-sides can be a lot more forgiving, but if you said Ranger, Rangers, Defenders, these utility side-by-sides tend to be a little less forgiving than the sport machines, so you just have to find other people who actually have it and who have done it. It's all about experimenting. I always seem to be the one who has to experiment and get it wrong to tell everybody, but you just have to play around with it a little bit.
If Yamaha came out with a new platform, Game Changer ATV next year, would you replace the Can-Am? I can answer that one. For you, it'd be no. For me, I would consider it.
She can't answer that because it would be yes.
What?
If Yamaha came out with a twin 1000 ATV, I would trade in that machine in a heartbeat to be there.
Ooh. Hi, Mohammed from Saudi Arabia. Funny story, not ATV related. When I was in Kuwait, I almost accidentally drove into Saudi Arabia, and this was before women were allowed driving there. So I did a U-turn aggressively, and oh man.
Do you both work at a store? We do not work at a store. So I know we do a lot of videos working with Dirty Life. He's one of our biggest sponsors. We don't actually work there. We are sponsored by him. We get deals, but by no means do we get things for free or anything like that. The honest truth is we advertise him as much as we do simply because we love his business and he's a super great guy. His family's awesome. They work very hard and we like supporting Canadian. So
sometimes now just send $2 too. Thank you so much.
I didn't even know you could donate money on this thing.
Nope.
So I really appreciate
So
the $5 that we've made.
It's coffee.
Yeah, it's as soon as this coronavirus thing's over, we'll go and get a coffee.
Thank you so much. If Yamaha made a Grizzly 850, would you get it? And a follow-on question from Matt is, have you heard anything on the Yamaha front in regards to an 850 or even a 1000?
I can answer the second part.
Okay, well, do both.
What was the first part?
First part is, will we get it if they made an 850? We already answered that, really.
If they came out with an 850 twin, I would consider it. I'd be a little more lenient to looking for a 1000 twin in the ATV side of things for Yamaha. Now, they do have 850s and 1000 engine platforms already. We know that because of the YXZ 1000, and we know that because of the Viking 850, and I think they're doing a Wolverine X2 and X4 in an 850 platform. So Yamaha's making engines all over the place. They're even making it for Arctic Cat. They have all this stuff available to them. They've been making engines since the dawn of time. So they have it available, but for some reason they won't put it into their ATVs, and it's most likely because they're comfortable in the market and where they are and what they've cornered. So I think they will eventually do an 850 to begin to see, they're going to taste test a little bit. I think they will do an 850 Grizzly. When, I don't know. I think they're going to cover the Viking, they're going to cover the Wolverine and really hit the side-by-side side of things because there's more money in that right now than the ATVs. And as far as ATVs, I think they will eventually do the 850, but I think it's still years out.
Our neighbors are watching and they're so close and we can't go see them. So hi Jake, hi Amanda, and hi Andrew. Especially Jake because he's cute.
Jake's a little dude next door.
Little dude, that's taller than me.
Yeah, but the camera, so he's just a little dude.
Hi Jakers. The other day you were talking about the silicone you're sealing your clutches up with. What do you use that doesn't gum it all up completely?
Oh, okay. I'll go get it since we're in the garage.
Yeah. It's a great question, guys. Thanks so much. We were worried about having to come up with content on the go without being able to like edit. And this is great.
So in the HD world, I kind of got a feel for good products, a product that I love. And as far as the silicone people are asking about, I always use Permatex. So I have clear and black for different reasons. Clear is for anything visible. I try to make it nice. And black, of course, is just for everything else. And most of the time when you're doing snorkel pipes and stuff, they're already black. So that's what we do is Permatex silicone. It's probably the best out there in my opinion. Take that with a grain of salt. I'm just a YouTuber.
Oh, Scott's saying good night, Jake. I didn't even know Scott was on here. Hey, buddy. Scott's the one that owns, I don't know why I'm pointing, but that owns Minion, who's been in the shop quite a bit and on our videos. So, yep. Hey, Scott. What's up, buddy? What do you think about the new 55-inch wide Sportsman and Scrambler?
So for a quad to be 55 inches is different. I think if you're doing something more along the Scrambler side, the 55-inch makes sense. They're more of a sport machine. So even like the Renegade, the non-XMR versions, they would be super awesome at 55 inches. When it gets to an Outlander and you're a hunter or something like that, I don't understand why you'd want a 55-inch quad. You don't need that kind of stability for anything like that, for hunting or something like that.
Maybe for rock climbing.
Not even. Quads are just super bad for rock climbing. You can do it if you're crazy enough, sure, but you might as well get a better machine to do that kind of job. So as long as you're doing like the sports side of things, like racing and that kind of stuff, 55 inches is pretty dope, but for anything else, I don't see why.
So we want to give a shout out to Nova Scotia from Jeff and Bridget. So, hey guys.
Hello.
I've actually been there a few times.
We do not have any mods planned right now for the Skidoo, but we have a plan as far as what we want to do with it. I definitely have a lot of upgrades I want to do for the Skidoo. So that's the 900 Ace Turbo back there. We want to take it from 150, 160 horse and go somewhere in the 230 ballpark. Get some clutching and stuff like that. The only thing we're going to avoid is pipes because of legalities. We can't have aftermarket pipes on sleds here in Canada, or at least Ontario as far as I'm aware. So there's lots going on there. Hello from New York. Hello, Clayton. How are you doing?
So someone said to complete the family with Diesel.
Oh.
Here. Up, high five.
Come here, buddy.
We went for a good long run this morning. Well,
There's
I
Diesel.
didn't run. He did. I
Hey.
brought my bike.
Here's Diesel.
Hey,
Whoa.
buddy. Hi.
Good boy. So we got the whole fam jam here.
Just chilling.
So tracks, that's something we've wanted to do. We've really tried to do. So for my Outlander, I can't do tracks without serious modification, and that's because I did different forward A-arms and I did trailing arms in the back. So because they're not only aftermarket, they're different brands. So adapting them to a track kit would be difficult. I'd have to do a bunch of fab work. For Cass's quad, we could put it on tracks, but then it would just be Cass on tracks, and I wouldn't be able to go with her unless I brought the sled or something like that. And beyond that, we can't go on a lot of trails. We can do a lot of crown riding and stuff like that, but
The way the bylaws are written here, to be able to ride on the sled trails, you need 2 skis in the front and 1 ski in the back. So
one
even
track in the back.
yeah, so even the kit on the dirt bikes, the snowcross kits don't meet that bylaw requirement, so they can't even ride because they've only got the 1 ski in the front. So they're very finicky here, and I'm sure elsewhere as well. So tracks, we're open to it, but we need the right circumstances to get it.
Okay, so there's a bit of a joke. A while back, we did a video. I think we were riding in an RC ATV ride, and we had a Kubota from Huckabones we were riding in the sidekick. And I used to do this thing in the comments section where to get people's attention, I would just write a joke or something silly.
A lie.
So I made up a rumor that Cass has 11 toes. And it was just a joke. I never thought anything about it. But then it kind of caught on, and everyone just went off thinking Cass has 11 toes.
And the funniest part, or the irony in it, is I was born with 10 fingers and toes. Kyle can't say the same about himself.
I was actually born with 9 fingers.
So
I don't know if you can see the scars, but I was actually born with
no
9
one
fingers.
needs to see that.
What? Why not?
So they spliced his 2 fingers into 1.
Yeah.
Or into 2. Oh my god.
So if anybody is missing or gaining something, it's actually me. I had 9 fingers.
So little did you know. And that's true. 100%. Ask his mom and dad or Bev or my mom. Gosh, they're all on here.
Question about stage 3 Elkas. Wondering for the 700, how better are the ride from the stock shocks?
Oh my God. Watch the ride where Kumaflu was with us. I think it was Ride for Dad fundraiser.
Yeah, last fall.
Last fall. And it's my first ride with the Elka 3s on them. Oh my God. They were amazing. I was drifting. It was such a smoother ride. Just because I've mentioned it a few times where my ATV is just quite tippy, and the shocks just absorb that so much better that you don't feel as tippy, even like, I don't know. Yeah, science. I do like them. It makes a huge difference.
Upgrade.
Especially with the added height from the lift and the tires.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The biggest reason it's a huge upgrade is, one, dual rate springs. So you have a soft spring for comfort.
That's what I meant.
And you have a small, strong, tight spring so you don't bottom out. And the combination is just huge when you're aggressive and you want a trail ride. So that's a big perk. And of course, the gas piggybacks and everything else, the quality from Elka. So they were very, very good. Dirty Life did a bang up job getting those set up for us. So thanks to dirtylife.ca for that.
They also asked what the price was. So they
A
can
lot.
be steep. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. I wouldn't make it a priority on your
It was
list.
a want, not a need.
It was a want.
Yeah. We splurged on
yeah.
that one.
I mean, we've gone this far, you might as well, but you won't be disappointed with them. They are definitely worth every dollar, but they are expensive.
I think Jessica's on here. Phil and Jess. I'm assuming that's the Jess that said hi to Amanda and Scott. So hi.
Do you think Elkas would make as much of a difference on a Foreman with a swing arm instead of IRS? I don't think they would. Honestly, I really don't think they would. It would be a benefit, of course, as far as shock performance, but I don't think you would gain nearly as much as we did.
Yes, right, Jess, she says. So good.
So Beverly asked about recommendations for side-by-sides. It's a broad question, I'm not gonna lie to you, but it kind of depends what you're into. I know Beverly is doing the trapping thing with my dad. So I know that they need utility. I know they need comfort. Ideally, it would be really cool to have some heat, maybe air conditioning. That might be pushing it, but totally understand. So you basically have two options that come to mind, which is the Polaris Ranger, specifically the North Edition, total enclosed cab. You can get hot and cold, so when you're trapping in the fall or whatever and you're wet and you're soaked and you're tired, you can have a lot of comfort that way. And the Can-Am equivalent is the Defender. You can do it with other machines, but you'll have to do a lot more work to get it there. So the Defender and the Ranger are definitely your options.
What do you think of the Can-Am Maverick Sport XMR?
The Can-Am Maverick Sport is actually one of my favorites. It's a true crossover. It has a bit of utility and tons of sport aspect to it. I like it especially, and you're going to find this weird, is because it's not turboed. So turbos are sick until they don't work anymore. And the price of turbos, maintenance of turbos, upgrading turbos, it's quite the nightmare. And when you include mudding with turbos and getting a compressor super hot and caked with mud, you're looking at a maintenance nightmare in the long run, like, 4 or 5 years down the road. So if you want to keep your machines like I do, then you're looking at longevity issues. So I like the Sport XMR because, again, non-turboed, you have your naturally aspirated 1000. It's proven itself. Snorkel, it's a great fit. It's not too big, not too small. It's literally like opening a kid's book. It's perfect. It's described really well. It rides really good. I had a chance to try a Maverick Sport platform at Pete Sales and Service, and it was super, super good. Hello from Muskoka. Hi, Muskoka. We're across the park from you.
Yeah. Why did we go with the Renegade over the Backcountry or Freeride?
So literally, we wanted a 900 Ace turbo, and by we I mean mostly me. I saw a really sick black one on the floor, and we bought it. So as long as I got the turbo, I was happy, and knowing full well that if I wanted to upgrade it, I can. The price point was really, really good. Pete Sales and Service did a really good job helping us out and getting us the right price point. And it honestly impressed the crap out of us. Even with 2 people on it, up seat and the whole bit, when I was trapping and I had the toboggan behind it, it hasn't let us down. So as far as the trail machine, it's cushy. It's sick.
Should I turbo or big bore kit my sled?
As far as the sled goes, turbo every day. Go nuts.
Someone asked about Assassinators versus Moto Havocs and Elkas versus Fox Shocks. So I think we covered that.
Well, there's a few things I want to touch on.
Cool.
As far as the Moto Havocs and the Assassinators, the Assassinators are very specific in what they do, and they're very good at doing whatever they're specific at. The Moto Havocs have a chance of kind of being a more all-around tire and still very capable in those same aspects as far as mud goes. Now, Fox and Elka directly are one for one. I think they're both great companies. The issue I have is when Fox develops a shock for a brand or a manufacturer like Can-Am, they usually water it down. So a Fox shock from Can-Am or from Polaris or from whoever isn't the same Fox shock that you'll get directly from Fox. I don't know why they're doing it, in order to sell bulk maybe and make some bucks. But Fox has a very good product, and Elka does too. But Fox from a manufacturer is watered down. It's the same argument as Warren winches. So try not to buy those products from them. If you buy directly from a manufacturer, Fox and Elka do both a great job. If you're Canadian though, support Elka because they're Canadian.
Yeah. Scott actually corrected me. If it is the one for my first ride with the Elka shocks, if it was the one with Kuma Flute, it was the one after Ride for Dad. So kind of dig through a little bit, but it's basically just me giggling.
I see Grant. What does Grant want? When are you selling the Outlander and getting a gig? Never. Never. Unless someone shows up with a Renegade that's red and black and they want $1 for it, I'm not buying it. Outlander for life.
Can we see the Kodiak quick peek? I see Kyle's, but no Yamaha. Actually, it's right behind Kyle. So if Kyle can push over for a second. Here.
We can move it over for you.
There you go. There's the Kodiak.
Oh God. Ah!
Technical difficulties.
There you go. There's the Kodiak, folks. In all of its glory. Shiny.
When are we going to see the baby seat mod? So.
We'll adjust it back. You got to see your Kodiak.
Yeah. My mom is probably like, yee, watching right now. Not for a little bit. We got some life to live yet, and moving cross country just for 2 years and back with a lot.
We have life to live yet. Like kids
To all the
ruin your
parents
life.
out there,
Oh
RIP.
no, yeah. Well, all of them are probably going, yeah.
So we don't have an answer for that one just yet.
Oh my God, so many questions. Have you ever tried erased products instead of muck off? No, I haven't. Honestly, I'm so happy with muck off that I wouldn't change brands. The way I see it is the way I work anyway, is when I'm happy with something, I just do it forever until it doesn't exist or I die.
I did even notice the big bore versus turbo, his sled, that was Max. And he's like, oh, sweet, you're going to help me install? What's up, Max?
Probably, honestly.
Yeah, we'll do a video.
Max is the guy who got a brand new 850.
Mad Max. Oh, Summit.
No, it's not a Summit.
Gosh.
It's a backcountry, I
Yeah.
think. And during his break-in, we got it stuck in this lake in the rhubarb. And he's a bit wild. We call him Mad Max. So a while back, one of our first videos, we actually did a rad relocate on his Honda for $16. And it looked real Mad Max like, so that's why we just call him Mad Max.
No safety infractions were had either.
Oh no! I think I was working in flip flops and shoulder and yeah.
Someone says I'd recommend the Pioneer over the Ranger, more reliable in heading down hills. Towing, you'd better control with gears over a belt. Sure. It
is true. So as far as the recommendations and side-by-sides I made, the Honda Pioneer is a very good option, especially for trappers, hunters, that kind of thing. It's something to look at. Does the Pioneer have a cab, heat, and AC? You guys will have to answer that. I don't know.
I would love to see more videos of your dad out and about if possible in the future after this crazy virus goes away. So that was one of our spring plans, was to go up to the trap line again, but it's not going to happen, unfortunately. So it might be a while yet before we can get up there again.
For those of you in Ireland who are up at 1 a.m, thanks for coming out. You guys are awesome. And
in Switzerland and Sweden. It's early there too. Yes. And in Saudi Arabia. That's nuts. Hey all, how you doing? What kind of trail/mud tire would you recommend that isn't too heavy? I'm on stocks and I need some suggestions. Do you think you can help?
For a light all-around semi-mud tire, honestly, Cryptids are good. Motoclaws are good. The Motoclaws are actually a super awesome tire, and I think my 30x10s weighed in at 54 pounds or something like that. So you can actually, and a lot of people ask me, how do you gain power? And honestly, the best way to do that is just keep your weight down. So just keep the weight down. So really light tire, that's a very good question. So just take a look at some of your tires that are available to you and just take a look at whatever's light and has a good recommendation. I personally recommend Cryptids and Motoclaws for that kind of stuff. Very light, great tires all around. They're not the best tires for those specific qualities, but very good.
James Fisher drew the link between my 9 toes and your 11 fingers. I'm sure there's a deal.
You got that backwards.
Wait, my 11 toes, your 9
my
fingers.
My 9 fingers.
Yeah.
Making us the 9/11 team?
Something like that. Plumey, yeah, if you're just tuning in, I'm sure this will post on our YouTube channel after the fact, so you'll be able to catch up, no problem. But hey, he's been with us since day one, I'm pretty sure. So thanks for coming out, Plumey.
Did you hurt yourself the day you rolled your Outlander? No, just my pride.
And my gut. Oh my God.
Honestly, if you actually watch that video, as I'm rolling, I went, ha! I was laughing about it. I'm like, oh, well.
It scared me more than anything because I didn't see it happen. I just look over and the quad's upside down.
What did make me laugh was Cass was freaking out about it. Are you okay? I had to turn my camera off.
Does your dad actually have a YouTube channel? And if so, how would I be able to find it? So he does not, but we're still talking to him about that.
Yeah, Dad, start a YouTube channel.
Let's go. Steve, you've got like a team Steve here going on.
Mainville Trapping and Outdoors. That'd be super good.
An off branch to Mainville Media.
Yeah, exactly.
You could be your dad's boss.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm just kidding.
He has been my boss before, indirectly, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, good night from almost 2 in the morning in Sweden. Yeah, see, called you out.
Good night, Sweden. Thanks for coming.
Do you know if the RCATV trails are closed past May 1st this year due to the coronavirus? So we actually just got to communicate today. It's looking like
from OFATV specifically.
From OFATV, which is the branch.
Ontario Federation of ATV Clubs.
So it is looking like they're going to remain closed past May 1st. The RCATV trails.
As far as right now, during this live stream, it's all closed until May 30th, which is the extension put on by Canada. So
when are you guys getting the next 3?
An X3 is definitely on my radar. I would love to get an X3. We're just waiting on a few things in life to sort out so we can see where all of our money lies.
Rob Plumy saying, keep my weight down. I'm out. I'm with you, Rob. I'm with you. I'm getting that right? It's Rob?
Rob, you're very stealthy, brother. You're looking good.
Beverly, just for you guys, seriously, congrats on the 2 years. Cass, you look gorgeous. Kyle, you need a haircut. Love you both. Okay, so
I do need a haircut.
I've been begging him. Okay, everyone.
That's why I'm wearing a hat.
Everyone just spam our social media. Let's get, I don't know, 1 million something or whatever is on TikTok. It's a trend. His mom is a hairdresser, and she even said she would walk me through step by step.
Not happening.
Please let me convince him.
It's not happening. I pay professionals for a reason because professionals are good. Hey, she's a licensed hairdresser and she's been cutting my hair for years. The only person who's cut my hair longer than her is my mom.
My mom.
So,
and thanks, Bev. I actually washed my hair today and I threw on some makeup. So, which is a big treat for Kyle.
Me too.
It's a treat for Kyle because you don't want to see what I look like before this.
It's not rum in my cup. It's Canadien. Which is in a Yeti.
Hot tea and my mug from my old roommate that says "Yas Queen." Not because I'm like that, but that's her slogan, so she got it for me.
Tiger tails, pro or con?
Pros.
I got this. Pros. Everything you could ever imagine, it's good at. It's a very good thing. It's awesome. The only con to a tiger tail is you have to pull everybody out.
But it's so fast.
Yeah, this isn't a commercial.
But wait, there's more.
And if you buy now.
No, but honestly, I love my tiger tail. I had one before Kyle, and we bought a second one because of it. I just can't speak enough of it. Just buy it. It's
Grease
awesome.
Fitting is saying my makeup is on fleek, and I don't know what fleek means. I actually don't. Is that a good thing?
On fleek is good. Yeah, all the kids are saying it. But
Okay.
thank you.
All right.
New to the sport and one side-by-side. Maverick Sport or Sport XRC. With comparison, more or less. I live near Dirty Life and will be hitting those trails. Am I better to go narrower for trail riding?
Overall, in a side-by-side, you'll be happier to go thinner, less wide. But at the end of the day, a lot of the performance machines like the XRC, the reason they're so wide is for long travel. So there's huge pros to being that wide, and the only con is the fact that you are wide. So a lot of gates in Ontario for OFA TV are set between 70 and 80 inches of width. And a lot of times private gates and stuff like that will be smaller than that, so you can't count on it. So in some of the machines, you'll have to get real creative about getting around some of these gates. It's not that those machines are illegal to be on the trails. It's just they weren't out when a lot of these gates were designed. So be careful about that. So as long as you don't want to hit any sweet jumps, go for the smaller machine.
Rob, yes, you are right. Thank you for reminding me. We did give you that hat at the Toronto Power Sports Show. You remember that? Better save me a hat.
We did get him a hat.
I know we did, but it was a running joke.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever rode trails in the States? My official answer to that is going to be no, because they're not the kind of trails we've wanted to ride. We've definitely wanted to go to Mud Nats, but again, coronavirus.
Yeah, we were very close, but that's when we were first warned about moving, so we didn't.
Yeah. So
then it got canceled. So
on that note, if this counts, and that's why I started with no, we have ridden, they call them dune buggies, but they were side by sides in Dominican Republic. And I know Costa Rica is not in the States, but I've rented like some terrible 250, 150,
yeah,
200,
like no-name ATVs
Honda
or Chinese
mixed
things or Hondas. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember sending Kyle a picture at one of the places, the rental places, and they had the bigger tires in the front and smaller in the back. I'm like, is there some sort of niche market I'm not tracking? He's like, no, that's just messed up. So we have technically ridden in the States and Dominican, but not, it's like a tour package kind of thing that we did on a resort. So
Cavs' machine is never turned off on a slant in the water. We have had it turn off because we got water in the fuel tank. So that's something you need to consider. A lot of people, when they snorkel the Kodiaks and Grizzlies, they forget, it's something I actually just recently did, is the gas tank has an overpressure valve. So when the gas tank is warm for XYZ reason, it'll open that valve to let pressure out. But that same hose will allow water in. So it's something to consider as to why you might be turning off in the water, is you're actually letting water in the machine.
which we just covered in our last video.
Yeah.
Sunday TV is going to go watch a 1999 Leafs game on TV. Is that when they won last? I can't remember.
No, it was the 60s.
Oh.
It was a way. I'm not even a hockey person, and I think it was like 67 or something.
Edwin Warren from Sweden, not Switzerland, says, let Cass cut your hair on the live stream, Kyle.
Never in a million years.
Worth a try.
I would have to have 100,000 subscribers in the next month to make that happen. So obviously impossible.
2 a.m. here in Norway too. I remember your 1-year anniversary. We all guessed how many subs you would get before 2 years. I was wrong with my guess on the 15,000 subs. Well, let's fix that. Let's everyone share.
I'm not even sure what I said in that video. I think I said 11,200 subscribers or something crazy. So I know I overshot. I underguessed, and we ended up getting more. So I was right. Cass was wrong. I just want everyone to know that.
Not often.
Exactly a year ago tonight, we had 4,500 subscribers, and now we're like 13,700 and something. So that's pretty cool. And I think we quadrupled our views. At the time, we had 600,000. Now we have like 2.3 million or 2.4 million.
Mr. Tundra Nuts, this is great. I have a Honda and a Can-Am. Which one should I burn to collect the insurance?
Whichever's worth more and you have a better insurance plan.
Yeah.
And you leave me out of it. I never suggested either of that.
Honda 650. Moving on. Honda 650. Hello from Alberta, guys. I bought 2 quads for my wife and I after watching Mainvilles. She loves it. Thanks for inspiring us. I hear that a lot lately.
Cass is taking over. I need another beer.
I love that couples are reaching out to us and people are riding together, and I just think that's great because honestly that's when I get the most FaceTime with Kyle. His other pastime is gaming, so I'm very familiar with the back of his head. There's a joke in there somewhere, I'm sure. You left me with the camera for 1 second. Cass has your, no, he already answered that. Would you consider putting tracks on your bikes? Not sure if you already yeah. So we just answered that a little while ago. It's too complicated with the trail rules here, and
we wanted to, but there's hurdles.
Exactly. Long story short. What type of shock vac is that? Shock vac.
It's literally a shop vac.
Yeah.
Shop vac made by Shop Vac.
From Canadian Tire, if you have one of those where you are. Not sure where you're coming from.
There's a shout out somewhere. Can you give a shout out to my stepson, Teo? I really hope I'm saying that right. Hi, Teo.
Yeah, and that's Bridget and Jeff, right? So, hello, stepson Teo.
What's going on, bud?
What type of, and that was Saxon asking the type of shop vac. What's up, Saxon?
Where have you been, Saxon? Jesus, come on over, dude. After the virus. What do you think of the Sedona Mutta in-laws for a mud tire? Sadly, I have no idea. I've only tried a handful of tires. That is not one of them.
I know this is behind. A real man will let his woman cut his hair, no problem.
If I wanted a number 1 or a bowl cut, I can trust my wife. Otherwise, no.
Yeah, and someone else said the Leafs' last photo with the cup was in black and white. We're rebuilding. What do you think of the Sedona Mutta? You already answered that, so we're all caught up.
Yeah, so it's been a pretty wild year. This year has been, I don't know, it's getting crazier and crazier, and I think it's just because it's a little more serious as we go along. It all kind of started as, you know, I want to start a channel. I took a look at it, and before you knew it, I was making videos, I guess. And then this year was much more planned, but not planned. It was
less
chaotic.
Accidental.
Less accidental. That's what the second year of Mainville ATV and Outdoors was. It was less accidental.
Yeah.
I never planned farther than maybe a week or two. And stuff would always surprise me as to what we were doing. We had opportunities with all sorts of great people. Yeah. Dirty Life and Kubota, Gator Waders, Pete Sales and Service with Can-Am.
Valley Tours.
Valley Adventure Tours was super awesome. Glass Glows Media, we're working to CSRA.
Dirty Life.
Dillabo's Drag Racing.
CSRA.
We already, you're just repeating me.
No, you're just repeating me.
So we did a lot of crazy stuff this year, and then doing the trapping series twice was also super, super dope. Been a wild ride, man. We have like 208 videos now. Last year we had 105, so we put out 103 videos this year, 2 less than last year. Well, actually, 1 less than last year because we're doing this one today.
Yeah.
So been wild.
And yes, he's drinking a beer. It is 8 o'clock here, but I have my tea, so we'll cheers to our caffeinated beverages.
How do you soften the ride on an XMR 850? Softening the ride, you can start.
Stand up.
If you have, yeah.
Ride standing up.
If you do what I did, I just stand up. The other option is to remove a little bit of preload or change your springs on your shocks. There's a few adjustments you can make there, especially with the piggybacks, but you'll find it might be enough. So that's why I went to Elka's.
So Justin says, can you give a shout out to Xavier? He loves your channel. So
Hi, Xavier.
hello, Xavier.
Hey, dude.
Or Xavier, if you guys are French. And
thing?
yeah, Xavier.
All right.
It's a French name, my dear.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Rob says, Kyle, try my haircut, hair loss.
Oh, I'm working on it.
Working on it.
Yeah. Give me 5 to 10 years. I'll be bald enough that I'm just going to shave it off.
Has the GoPro editing gotten less painful, time destroying? Love your vids.
Editing is a cross between soul sucking and incredible. Because
he hates getting to the point where he sits down to do it.
Yeah.
Once he's doing it, he's dead to the world and he's loving it. Cass, come check this out. Come,
I procrastinate
this.
so hard. And then once I'm being creative, I'm very, very happy with the process. And you have to be. Because if you think we make big money doing this, you are so wrong.
Saxon, I can't. I wish I could go ride there in Canada. Oh, we've got someone from Cape Breton.
Cape Breton, cool.
Breton, Breton.
We partied with a few of your folks out in Dominican, I think it was. We met up with them and we could not drink enough to keep up with those folks.
Man, so happy with your responses. Nova Scotia's Def Rep, you guys even more. Thank you so much. You guys love the Short Life family.
Does Cass speak French? Believe it or not, it's her first language.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't tell, but yes, she does speak French.
I speak francophone. It's like an Acadian was born in Ontario. Not quite as bad as Acadian, but yeah, Franco-Ontarian.
And believe it or not, I also
as.
went to French school growing up until the 8th grade. So you wouldn't know it.
Mm-hmm. So yes, Etienne, I speak French.
Alex, thanks for loving our videos, buddy. I'm glad someone does other than my mother.
I want to see Kyle's hair take off his hat. That's from Travis. It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not the end of the world. It's touching my ears, though. Look at that. What is that?
See, I just need to shave just a little bit.
So you guys might not know, Cass is military and I was military. And ever since I left the military, all I wanted to do was cut my freaking hair right now.
When you first got out, you said, screw it, I'm growing
I
it
tried
out.
it.
I'm going to be rock and roll.
But ever since then,
it got to here and he cut it.
Drives me crazy. So now I'm going to be wearing a hat until I can get a haircut.
How much longer are you planning to stay in Petawawa before moving? Would you guys do an Eganville Bunch Air Cup or next year's mud run? So next year's mud run, probably not. The Bunch Air Cup, I'm not sure when that is. Is that
we were
May?
invited to them in the past, but I don't know. We kind of wing it, dude.
Yeah, we were supposed to move in June, July. Now it's looking like September, October, November. Don't quote me on any of this because again, coronavirus.
I would, Weston, I would love to do a subscriber ride. Obviously right now is a poor time. We never did in the past because we didn't think we had a big enough of a following, which is a disgusting word to say out loud live. But so you find folks meeting up with us to go for a ride we would love to do. And hopefully we have a chance before we move and after this coronavirus thing, we can get that done for you.
If not, my career will inevitably bring us back to Ottawa area. So there's that. It's a little bit of a ways out, but yeah. What are the pros and cons of running the same tire width all around, like skinnier rear tires, 10-inch or narrower? So
the pros and cons to, it's called a non-square setup. When you have different front tires from your rear tires, it's called non-square. And a square setup is obviously having the same tire all around. The only perk to having a non-square setup is it allows you to have wider tires in the rear and smaller up front for fitment reasons. A lot of fitment issues with tires is because of tire width, not necessarily height. So if you wanted to do a 32 or 30, some machines will allow that, except if you have a 30 by 10, it's difficult. But if you have a 30 by 8, it'll fit in the front. But then you can still have a 30 by 10 or even a 30 by 11 or 12 in the rear. So you can have a lot of contact in the back if that's what you need in your riding style. But personally, ride square. And the reason for that is you can, the rear two tires, if you ride in two-wheel a lot and do a lot of trail riding, will always be worn out more, especially if you brap a lot and you have a heavy thumb. So you can actually rotate the tires and put the front to the back. You can't do that otherwise, or it'd look weird, it'd be stupid.
Yeah, don't be stupid.
A non-square setup too can actually be difficult and hard on your parts. For Polaris, for example, their all-wheel drive system, it works on a resistance mechanic. So when it senses one tire slipping, it'll actually provide tire to all wheels. That's how their all-wheel works. So if you have different size tires in your machine, you'll actually have different weights. So your actuation of that all-wheel can be pretty bad.
Aaron asked if we've done the Nova Scotia ride. No, we haven't.
We have not done a ride in Nova Scotia.
Someone said, I'm loving the relaxed hair rigs right now. So in the military, obviously you have your standards to maintain, but I guess all the haircut, like, dressers are closed and the barbers.
I don't know.
I didn't even think about that. Being a girl, I don't have to worry about it. So
I've been out of the military for like 6 years now, so I don't know. I don't care.
I live in Sudbury and there's a lot of mud coming. There's a lot of mud. Come and rip. Oh man, if we could, we would. But I can't leave the area right now. So soon, hopefully, soon.
Do you like the Skidoo? Do you have ice scratchers? I do not have ice scratchers. Out of the whole season, I only needed them maybe once. I probably won't get them because I have a thing about hating looking like a prepare. But some people don't mind and they're all about the utility, so go nuts. But yes, we love the Skidoo.
Saxon, did you ever kill anyone? Only with my looks. If looks could kill, right?
Yeah.
Probably be dead 10 times over.
Honestly, Saxon, I think the only thing that died was me in the military.
Just a little bit inside. What was I going to say? Kyle, would you ride a Yamaha? And if you had to, what bike?
If I had to ride a Yamaha, it would be a Wolverine X2. Just because I think they're super awesome and they come in an 850 now, so that's sick.
And Jessica brought up her haircut. She's like, hence my haircut. I hate when it touches mine. She's got pretty much a half shaved head with a little bit of a thing going on.
I can't make up my mind between a Grizzly and a Brute Force. Honestly, yeah, those are very comparable machines. So yeah, go sit on them, basically. Sit on them, ride them in a circle. If it's not immediate that you know right away which one you want to ride, then start looking a little deeper, but otherwise you just got to sit on them, dude.
Rob Fisher, or James Fisher is saying if he keeps drinking and burping like that, Cass, you may want to get the scissors ready. He'll be ready for that haircut shortly.
I'm only a few deep, we're all right.
And Dave says, what's the Saskatchewan you speak of? That doesn't sound like South Ottawa.
People are making jokes about how many beers I'm having right now, but you can't even say Saskatchewan.
Saskatoon. This is it. I can't make up my mind between a Grizzly and a Brute Force. Any input?
I already did that one, Cass.
Okay, I'm still catching up. I mean, the Newfoundland ride. Where are you going riding around Newfoundland? Did you do that? No, we haven't yet.
There is an amazing Newfoundland ride. If you guys don't know, Newfoundland has like a cross-province ride, basically. And it's huge and it's super supported right on the trail with all sorts of businesses and hotels and bars and all sorts of stuff.
We've watched it on YouTube.
And if you know why that's funny, because it's like a 3,000 kilometer ride or some crazy outrageous thing, but it is on my bucket list amongst a lot of other things.
What do you guys do in the military? Again, he was a combat engineer before he retired, and I'm a logistics officer / ammo tech officer. I love your channel. You guys are doing great. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Love to see more how-tos on the vehicles if possible, and have your dad make a channel, please. So Steve, you got some fans.
Dad, dude, make a YouTube channel. Just do it.
And if you guys want any specific videos that you think we could do that we haven't done yet, maintenance how-tos, if it's worth our, just let us know and we can maybe work something out.
Yeah, the biggest thing is if you guys have a really good idea and you get enough backing to get it done, we will do it for you. But if there isn't enough interest, we won't do it.
Yeah, we're not going to go and buy tracks just so you guys can see a video about tracks.
Well, honestly, I might, but
no. But yeah, we're open to ideas, especially right now. So yeah, just let us know.
Sometime is now says I'm up for going for a sled group ride with you and your dad, but I'm carrying the eggs. Yes, absolutely. Anyone but my dad holding the eggs has better odds.
Winston says, hi guys. Hey, Winston. Okay. So would you rather put a 9-inch tire in the rear than a 10 or 11-inch all sorts terrain to keep it square, or even an 8 all around, thinking for a smaller machine, so maybe do a true 27 height?
That's a pretty loaded question. So as far as like a trail machine, which I think, Edwin, you are a trail rider, I would just do a square setup somewhere in the 9-10 wide department. Usually when you go 10 wide is the beginnings of fitment issues in a lot of machines. So as long as you're doing a 27, 28 tall, most machines will be compatible with that. But yeah, square is always my suggestion just for rotational purposes. It's easier on parts, that kind of thing. So yeah, stay square.
Logan's asking, when you move out to Saskatchewan, would you consider riding with Ostacruiser? I mean,
I honestly watched Ostacruiser's videos like 6 years before we even considered
before it was cool.
Yeah, before it was cool. So like it would be awesome to meet the guy. I'm not gonna go knocking on his door, you know, or anything, but yeah, it would be really cool.
If anyone knows the guy, I mean, feel free. Steak on fire. Kyle, I won't hold it against you for being a chimo.
Ugh.
It's coming from an artillery guy.
I hold it
You
against him.
Ubique, eh? Ubique. If you guys ever go riding in Newfoundland, you have to do the pole-to-poles or the pole-less pole line mud run.
Pole-less pole line mud run. Why is there a pole-less pole line?
They probably took them out.
Okay.
Used to be a pole line? I don't know.
Sure.
Let's do it.
I
hear the dog. Oh shit! Oh.
What do you mean?
Someone heard the dog scratching to come in.
So one of our viewers says, I can hear the dog scratching, and reminded Cass that we have to let her dog in. So thanks to our viewers.
See, no baby seat coming. We're not
This
ready.
is why we can't have children. Oil and diff fluid preference. When it comes to oil and fluids, we're going to do a subject change. I always follow OEM recommendations. Always. It's just the way it is. Is it more expensive? Yeah, most likely. But the odds are machines were designed with that in mind. So a lot of these manufacturers will use dedicated oils with API ratings for their machines under their specific circumstances. So I always use OEM oils.
You went into the swamp.
So Kyle knows about St. Babs. Stay away from lightning kids. Yes. I believe that's all. It's an artillery thing too, isn't it?
St. Barb, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything to do with explosives, really. Anything that goes boom. Your dad is the best. Well, not at toboggan pulling. He should have a YouTube site. See?
How was sledding? So that's actually our first sled. I've had sleds growing up. They weren't anything impressive. We had a Star. I believe Polaris made that. We had a 250 Bravo. So my dad, if he's still watching, is just curling over right now because we hated those machines. And then we had a Scandic, which I used a little bit. I tried it out anyway. It was my dad's. All those were my dad's machines growing up. And then that was pretty much my sledding experience. So then we just decided we wanted to get into sledding and bought a 900 Ace Turbo. So that's my first sled,
and
period.
The day we went to the, I know, buddy, I know. We'll make it up to you.
Did you go in the swamp?
He did. We have ducks living in our culvert right now. They're here
Fun
every
fact.
year, and they just got back a few days ago, and Diesel's all excited. But I forget what I was gonna.
So yeah, sledding was very good. Cass, forgot what she was saying.
The day that he's like, "Hey, Cass, I'm looking in this," I'm like, "No!" Before he even finished his sentence, no, just go sit on it. I'm like, "I know what that means." He's like, "Let's just go to the dealership, no pressure."
I never put pressure
on the machine, and he's doing up the paperwork because the dealership knows us so well that it's a loss.
I'm gonna rename this stream "Marital Dispute Live" with Mainville ATV.
Cassie should do a motovlog on her motorcycle. That would be funny. I actually got a camera for my motorcycle 5 years ago before any of this, and I thought about doing it, but I didn't think I'd be good at it or know what to say and blah blah blah. So who knows if I get right back into it? Who knows?
Mainville moto vlogs.
Yeah, but the problem with that is I don't have time to edit, and Kyle is running out of time to edit too. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe
I
not.
spend a lot of time editing, especially if you watch like CSRA or Dillabo Snow Drags or any of those like hypercut scenarios. Those are a nightmare to get done solo. Like I wanted to put a lot more effort in, but when you're getting hours and hours and hours into something that's only going to pay you $5, it gets a little overwhelming.
Kodiak is superior to Can-Am. Yes, static waves. I agree.
No, it is not in no way.
Next year, you should check out Cochrane. Amazing trails. I heard it.
I've actually been to Cochrane in the past, in my younger days.
Has the winch on the 700 ever stopped on occasions? Mine does in the winter. Help, LOL.
If it's stopping, have you done any maintenance to it? Every once in a while, you definitely need to pull the rope out completely. Take a look at the spindle, put some grease on it, remove the cap on the one side where your actual free spool and engagement is, and then re-grease the planetary gears and stuff like that in there. I would definitely take a look because it sounds like it's seizing up. And before you know it, it's very permanent.
I haven't had any problems with mine, and I haven't done a thing to mine.
We have another person from
have
Sweden.
A maintenance fairy in our garage that
Maintenance
does all
fairy.
that for me.
Yeah, that's me, by the way.
Sounds like your winch has moisture in it. The motor is dry, shouldn't freeze. Maybe condensation from temp. I love when you guys answer your own questions amongst yourselves. It's awesome. Kind of gives us a bit of a break.
Please do more live videos. Are you guys actually enjoying this? Is this something we should do more often for different reasons?
That'd be cool. We honestly almost canceled it because our internet here is so slow. We're dial-up speeds where we live. So we tried it. It kept crashing. It wasn't working. And I figured, well, we have unlimited data. Let's try that. And it actually is working. So.
Yeah, dude. Okay, our internet is so bad. I've never uploaded a video from here.
Yeah.
So I have to drive to town to go to
Scott's.
Scott Irwin is my buddy who owns Project Minion, the yellow 650 Outlander. I have to drive to his house because he has fiber and I can upload videos in like 3 seconds. Because uploading a video here, honestly, when I try it, my videos in 4K are like 15 to 20 gigs. So it'll say like 3 weeks to upload. I can't wait 3 weeks, right? I upload a video like every 4 to 5 days or something, sometimes every 3 days. So yeah, I actually have to drive to my buddy's place and do uploads all the time.
So I guess the consensus is yes, to keep the live videos coming.
Well, we definitely can every once in a while. We'll do little live updates or something like that. That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe we could do a shop video live while we're getting our footage.
As long as you guys are okay with cell phone quality footage.
I don't know how this is coming through at the other end, but yeah. Shoot. Go at Rocky with the sled next winter. Are you talking about Rocky Mountains or Rockies behind Cape Real? Probably the Rocky Mountains.
Question for myself. Shall I have a beer? Well, Kyle's is so I answer. Yes, I should.
You're not drinking alone.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, go nuts.
We don't have trails like you, so either it's roads or forest that can be rocks, mud, or whatever. The thing I'm thinking of is that I will lose buoyancy and sink through soft ground, or is this overthinking?
Edwin, you're definitely overthinking. Unless you have super skinny, hard tires like an Assassinator 8 wide, you won't have that issue. Anything 8 wide trail tire and above, especially when you get into 9, 10 wide tires, you're fine. It's just overthinking.
So my aunt and uncle are loving this. Hey guys.
We have considered Patreon, sorry.
Yeah.
Patreon is one of those things where it's a great idea to get support from people, but we don't get a whole lot of extra support that way. I'm not blaming you guys or anything or looking for anything. Patreon's really hard to sell. Like getting people to just give up cash or whatever to support us is a hard thing to do. It's not something we don't really want to ask that of people.
Fun, you know.
Do we want to make $1 million? Absolutely we do. But it's not a priority or anything. It's just sort of like an offshoot goal.
We're more of the mindset of if you'd like to support us, we'd like to give back, and the merchandise, the stickers, stuff like that will help us more than anything. That's
why we did merchandise. Is we didn't have to ask for money or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So you can buy a shirt and at least you get something for the profit you're giving me. So, and the reason why it took so long for us to actually do that was to make sure that the product was good enough for you, because I won't put anything with my name on it that isn't good quality. So I wanted you guys to have something for your money, and that's why these are for sale, the hats, the shirts, and the stickers.
And the shirts are like a polyester spandex blend of sorts.
They're like a sport t-shirt. Have you ever had an Under Armour shirt or something like that? They're basically like that.
Yeah, they're quick wicking. So, because riding, obviously we ride a lot. We wear shirts like this all the time to do it. Dries fast from sweat, mud, swamp water, all that stuff. Or if it's dusty, you just go like this and it all comes off. So it was a big reason why we went up in quality for these.
So go check out dirtylife.ca and buy a shirt.
Yeah, there's our plug. Thanks, Saxon, for bringing that up.
What do you guys think the best upgrade to do to a machine is first? Clutching every time. I'll end that there.
How are the axles standing up? They're great. We're both running stock axles.
We have lifts and big tires and everything like that. We ride gnarly, and every single axle and diff in here is stock. And they're both 2 years old.
Knocking on wood.
What other provinces would you like to ride in? British Columbia, Alberta is on my list. Newfoundland is on my list. We've already done a lot of Ontario, so pretty much done with that.
Quebec is beautiful, but their rules are way too we can't ride our machines there because they're not stock.
So pretty much BC, Alberta, and Newfoundland are on our hit list. That's pretty much it.
Did you do this one? Best upgrade to do on the machine first? Okay.
Oh, shit.
Ooh, which codec do you use to export all your videos, and which bit rate?
I export at MP4 on MP4, and I use HBEC as my codec, I believe it's called. Which is the most common codec you can use. Pretty much every platform has it.
So have you ever considered adding polos and hoodies to your store? So yes, we wanted female wear, we wanted tank tops, hoodies, and all that. So unfortunately, there's 2 reasons why we can't do this. The main reason is we fronted all of the costs for our merchandise. Yeah. So that to keep costs down. So
just to do shirts and hats costs us like $3,500.
Yeah. So we fronted that, and rather than doing a Teespring or one of those other like Vistaprint where you send them your design and then they just make it as you go and they plaster it on whatever you want, because the quality of that wasn't great and the margins were incredibly low. So you're paying 60 to 70 to 80 to 90 bucks for one item.
And we would get $5 at best.
Exactly. So this keeps our margins, and it still keeps it very much less expensive for you guys. So.
When you buy this shirt, you support a Canadian manufacturer, you support a Canadian business, Dirty Life, that ships it, and you support us directly. That's it. All Canadian, majority of the profits to us where you intended the money to go. Exactly. So that's why we did it the way we did it.
So we can't move on to developing more product until this goes, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Warm hoodies, please. So yeah, as soon as these shirts and hats start disappearing and we start getting some of our money back, we haven't actually sold a whole lot of them. So if you guys want to get rid of those, we'll absolutely provide more options, because all we're going to do is take that money and turn it into more products for you guys.
Do you ship to the States? Yes, we do.
We ship everywhere.
All over.
We've had stickers go as far as Mongolia.
Yep.
Cape Breton Ride.
Ooh.
Oh my God, there's so many comments.
Sled trails are good in Quebec, though. I know. I've been out in Quebec with my motorcycle, Gatineau Hill and all that stuff. It's gorgeous.
Okay, clutch kits. Clutch kits are a Band-Aid. So when you're talking about just doing like a spring swap or something like that, that's a Band-Aid. You only use that stuff in combination with full clutches. The best bang for your buck, if you can afford it, is to always do full one-piece clutches. So STM, CV Tech, and QSC, for example. In the Can-Am world, primary clutch. If you just upgraded that stock clutch, you'll be very disappointed in comparison to a full one-piece clutch. Always go for the top dog. It's not worth wasting your time.
Thanks for the support, Rob. You got some of our merchandise, and obviously, well, both Robs, Rob Gillis and Rob Plumy.
Yeah, I think we've sold maybe 10 shirts and 2 hats or something. It's not a lot.
Okay, off topic. What's your favorite music to go riding? We actually don't listen to music when we're riding because we just kind of want to tune it out and be with nature.
Nature,
not to sound
and
too hippie.
RJWC loud ass pipes.
Nah.
That's all we want to hear.
On the motorcycle, though, through my Bluetooth gear, just a mix. It depends. Like, I listen to everything: country, pop, indie, metal. Kyle's more of a metalhead.
I'm all metal. I actually have an Iron Maiden sleeve, if you guys were wondering about my tattoos.
It's not finished yet, but we can't go right now because coronavirus.
Yeah, so I've seen Iron Maiden like 7 times, Scorpions, Judas Priest, you name it. That's all the beginning stuff. That's what I grew up in. I'm a big like Trivium, Kill Switch, Devil Driver, Metal Side kind of guy, all sorts of stuff.
So is Dirty Life still open? He wants to get his Renegade reflash. So their store is closed. But their storefront is closed. Obviously, the website's still running. He's still checking the Facebook and everything. And by he, we mean Trevor. He's the owner of Dirty Life. He's working from home. So he's running this solo right now, pretty much, aside from the help that he's getting from his family. So be patient. And he can only get certain stuff in right now, but he is still open. He still is shipping and he's still ordering whatever he can. So the best thing to do is to message him either through his website, Facebook, or an email. So that's probably the best way. But if you're trying to call the store, you're not going to get through because it's closed right now. Hope that helps.
Yeah, so if the video quality or sound quality is a little weird, it's literally us on a cell phone streaming off cell towers. It's all we've got, guys. So I hope it's working out for you.
As for the fit of the shirts, are they close to normal shirt sizing? Absolutely. They're true to size.
I'm a medium and it fits just ever so bigger than a medium. It's actually really nice.
In the shoulders. And it's not like a square shirt. It's more of like a slim fit, but still true to size. So you're not going to get that waviness at the bottom that guys usually get from their shoulders and chests being built and like the little itty.
So I think we have in stock all the way up to 2XL or something like that. You'll have to check it out on Dirty Life. When you go to the sizing options, it'll show what's available.
What am I wearing? A medium?
I believe so.
Can you check?
Yeah, it is a medium.
Okay.
Thanks, Terry. I'm glad you think I'm cool. Appreciate that. I totally get the tattoo thing. My sleeve continuation got canceled. I actually remember you showing me some of your tattoos. I think it was something here. I can't remember. It was at the international show. You showed me some stuff.
So Kyle used to have his motorcycle license, and then he realized he has really poor inhibition control. What's it called? Impulse control.
Basically, I'm an idiot on two wheels.
Yeah, so he quit that, and it's kind of my own hobby that I get to go out and do my own thing for.
The last time I was on two wheels was a Gixxer 1000, and I was doing like 200 to 300 kilometers an hour, and I decided to not do
on
that
a closed track with professional guidance.
Yeah, it was on the Trans-Canada Highway.
Yeah. So Bridget and or Jeff are saying octane all the way, bro. Okay, Children of the Damned is my all-time fave. Yeah.
Do you still own that white old Dodge? So no, I don't. And that breaks my heart that you bring it up because I had to sell it. Not that I had to for money reasons or anything like that. We had 3 trucks, we had 2 cars, so we had 5 vehicles, not including the quads, the sled, motorcycle, everything else that we have. Something had to go, and it was the weakest link. The honest truth is when Cass was on tour, I had it in the garage and I needed to keep busy, so I just started rebuilding it. And then she came home and it was rebuilt, so I just sold it.
And I got home and I got my tour truck. Everyone does when they get back from tour. I bought a truck. He bought a truck. We sold the cars. We sold the truck because I'm like, Kyle, 3 trucks, like.
It was a bit much.
It was.
Like, it's first world problems, but you get it.
And Saxon is saying Kyle is a great guitarist, an excellent guitarist, if you guys didn't know. And I do vouch for that.
I don't play the guitar. I shreds the guitar.
Venom is what is on my arm. Ugh, you forgot. Sniff, sniff. Oh.
That's what it was. Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I should have known that. You did name your quad after it.
Do you guys ride dirt bikes ever? I wish I could get my hands on one just to play around with it, and I'm sure Kyle wouldn't mind.
The last time I rode a dirt bike was her dad's.
And you ditched it.
And what did I have? A broken knee?
He was healing from a broken kneecap.
Yeah,
like a shattered kneecap.
Totally biffed it.
And I told him we were in the sand. I said, take it slow. You're gonna lose your rear end, and you're not gonna be able to put your leg down. I'm telling you. He pinned it, biffed it, and then that was it.
Totally worth it though. Good times.
Are you gonna get a new ATV, Kyle? I'm gonna answer that right quick. No.
Yes, I am totally gonna get new machines all the time. I totally want a side-by-side. Big time.
CMJ, hey, how y'all doing? And if I'm not mistaken, that's Connor Pankey.
Is
and
it?
His mom, Nicole, right?
How do you know that?
I don't know. I just keep track of these things because we love our viewers.
So Scott's one of my good buddies for a long, long time, and I don't think he's ever heard me play guitar, believe it or not. Guitar for me is more of a therapeutic thing. I just kind of hide in the basement and shred.
And as soon as I go downstairs, he stops. Which communication system do you use?
We do not
None.
use any at all. We don't use communication systems because it's very hard to record that audio into the video and then post-production edit it. So it's actually a nightmare to get done.
Yeah.
I know some channels are doing it, and I'm not going to explain how, but it's such a nightmare to get done. So what I do is I take both of our footage, both of the audio from our GoPros, and I edit it together. So that's why sometimes you'll hear an echo, because you can't quite get them lined up sometimes, but that's basically what's going on there.
And not like, to bring it back to why we don't listen to music either. When we were trying out some communication systems on one of the rides last June, it was so frustrating because him and I are used to talking to the cameras when we're riding. And every time I talked to the camera, he'd be like, what? Or he would talk and I'd be what? We couldn't tell if we were talking to the camera or each other now. And I just wanted peace and quiet. He wanted peace and quiet. So
I don't actually want to talk to my wife when I'm riding.
No.
I really don't.
No, but me neither.
We thought that was a good idea, and then it was a nightmare. We had so much time to talk. We were talking about like, oh, we should do laundry and dishes when we get home. We should plan that. It was a nightmare. Don't do it. So for grease fitting, these are the products here. Okay, it's the bike cleaner concentrate.
Oh, and we don't have the snow foam anymore.
And then you silicone shine it. The snow foam is a separate product for your your foam guns.
Yeah. But this one, it's like a silicone, it like puts a deposit, Cal's going to correct me anyways, but it deposits the silicone.
Okay. In the silicone shine, there's no actual silicone. It's
fills
not
in
a
the
thing.
cracks.
So this is a naphtha based product. Okay.
Science.
And okay. I'm not going to explain the science. It does a very good job, and it's one of the few products on the market. I don't work for Muck Off.
We've tried a bunch of different products. We're not just
totally
blindly
gets rid of your
endorsing.
scratches. Believe it or not, Cass's Kodiak is scratched all to hell because Cass can't pick up her feet. And she just scratches the fender every time she goes over.
Every time I swing over.
And it does a very good job of masking it.
Yeah. And again, we've tried a bunch of different products.
Oh, I gotta get a helmet.
And we do pay for this stuff. Like, it's not just us endorsing it. We don't get a cut. Anything that Dirty Life sells, we don't get a cut for that or anything. It's just we spread the word. Oh my God, come get back, I need you. No, we spread the word because we like promoting good service, good stuff. We even ask our insurance broker. We tell people about him all the time because he's amazing and he's really fast and all that stuff. Ask our real estate agent. We tell everyone about him just because we love good service and good products.
You got to support small businesses, especially in your own country. And I say this like, you want to support local as best as you can, but stop China from taking over the world. So for those asking about helmets, this is a homemade setup. This is our summer helmet design.
Hold it sideways.
And basically all I did was I bought a bunch of stuff from Amazon for GoPro accessories, and I just cobbled together, this is a clamp. And then I basically ran up a couple extension pieces and I get the GoPro right here. The reason why I have the GoPro in this location is it allows the audio from my mouth to come through into the camera, and that's why you can hear me much better in the summer. For the winter, we have this. And the reason why this one's a bit of an engineering nightmare is because our front face opens up. And this is basically a sticky pad. And then I did a bunch of extensions also so I can run up a cage to the front, and I put the GoPro inside the cage. That's how all of that works.
I'm cutting with mine too.
You don't need to, I just showed it.
No, but mine is different.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, for the summer.
Yeah.
So Cass has a summer helmet that basically has a wraparound Amazon mouthpiece that's pretty generic as far as helmets. You can basically see how that works.
Oh, there's my glove.
So basically it's a 3-strap design. It goes on the front and then it has a GoPro mount there.
I used to use a different one that I used to recommend. I think it's linked to one of our older videos, but it's been discontinued since then, and I have had no problems with this one. And it's just an easier, cleaner setup and removable if you want to.
As far as ATVs next, I don't know what I would do. If $30,000 just fell in my lap, I would likely just buy another Outlander.
2nd Battalion Irish from Sudbury.
Oh, our reservist dude?
Yeah, that's cool. Kyle used to be there.
Yeah. So great product placement.
Yeah.
It's the nature of things. We don't actually want to, sell you guys stuff. You're all smart people. You can make up your own minds. But if you have questions, go ahead and ask. We don't actually get any of this stuff for free, like we've said before. So
the cleaning products.
Oh, did we get some for free?
No, but we got other stuff. Like
Oh.
we pay for most of our stuff. Most of it. We
Like
get really good
99%.
deals on most stuff, or the times we get things for free is to test it out for companies or to do trials and stuff or reviews. So for the most part, we do pay, if not full price or close to, for a lot of our stuff. So
Squeaky's RV Sales asks, I have a 2020 Outlander XXC 1000 with 28-inch cryptids. Should I do a clutch kit? If you want to do a clutch kit, you can pick up a little bit of pep if that's what you're looking for. Be very careful and make sure you have an expert or at least someone who's inclined to tell you what pieces you need, especially when you're doing clutch kits. If you have the cash and you want a lot of pep and get more bang for your buck, I always suggest one-piece full primary clutches. If you have a lot of money and you just want to blow it all, then yeah, primary and a secondary clutch. My favorite combination that I've experienced is a QSC full primary, a Rev X, and then an STM secondary. So check those out.
and for the Yamaha, we put in an EPI clutch kit, but we had some. He's a professional. He does it on a side. BF Clutching on Facebook. A friend of ours, Brian Farr from home. Again, support local. He did all the milling and all the extra stuff. So we didn't just do the clutch kit. We did the milling and the grease, the setup and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. So all sorts of stuff to do. Grease Fitting says, hey, if it's good stuff, I want to hear about it. And you know what? Usually that's the case. And that's why we do these videos. Especially when we're spending hundreds or thousands of dollars on a product. Of course, we're going to make a video on it to make our $5 back.
And we're not going to be sellouts. If we don't like it, we'll be honest. In most cases, if we don't like a product, we'll give the company the first impression that we got.
We give them a chance to work with us. And if they don't want to work with us or totally blow us off, then we usually make a video or do something or say something that the product's not fully what we thought it might be. Of course, these are all opinions. We're just random ass people on YouTube, so take it all with a grain of salt.
Did you install the Boysen Super Cooler? And if so, can you tell a difference? And is it worth the money?
So yes, I did install the Boysen coolant pump, water pump. And yes, you can actually tell a difference. It takes a lot longer for my machine to warm up. So one thing you have to do.
I'm farting
so
over here.
You can't really tell at peak performance. So you can't tell when it's already at running temperature, but you will notice that it takes a lot longer to get to running temp. So that tells you it's working for one. But once you're at running temp, it's doing a great job. So I haven't been in a scenario where my radiator was clogged or whatever, and that's where it really starts to shine. Is it can save you a little bit from those scenarios where you might have overheated.
We're asked what our favorite ride video is.
What's yours?
So the series, oh God, okay. It's hard because it's for different reasons. Like I really enjoyed Mattawa. The 666 trail is what it's all said to be. Mind you, we went there during a pretty good rainfall, so it was like the best mud. Speaking of mud, Johnstown's always a good time. It's reliably always.
What's your favorite place to ride though?
My favorite place to ride was Mattawa. It's a small trail system. It's easy to read. You're not intimidated by getting lost because it's a really nice weekend ride. Johnstown's a great day ride. Renfrew County is a great week-long ride because we have such a big trail system. But my favorite ride.
Mine is 100% our Mattawa trip. We have 8 videos, I think, on the Mattawa trip we did with Glassglows Media. That overall was the best ride. It wasn't the best for a specific reason. It was just the best weekend we've had riding in a long, long time. It was so much fun.
Last minute, like it wasn't super planned. We planned it like 3 days prior. Their plans fell through. We wanted to go riding. We just threw it together and it was just a blast. We had a power outage. It was just fun.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
My favorite video of ours, I'm assuming is what you're asking, is the CSRA hypercut video. So the 3-minute something length video
Which
I made.
took you like 12 hours.
It took me a long bloody time. That's my favorite video that we've done. What's your favorite video
My favorite video,
that we've done?
probably, and you reminded me today, was this when Valley Adventure Tours took us out both times, actually. The time when I brought my mom, and she's just giggling the whole time. I have no idea where I get it from. And the time when we went out on his snowmobiles. So when he first started doing snowmobile tours, and I was just just having a riot the whole time. So memory wise, those were really good times for me, but like ride wise, Mattawa was great, and Johnstown's always awesome too.
Our favorite YouTubers. Mine's really easy. One of my favorite YouTubers is actually Peter McKinnon, which might seem like an odd one considering what we do, but he's a very good videographer, cinematographer out of Toronto. And a lot of the things that I aspire to do and learn and be better at doing videos for you guys is because of him. So Peter McKinnon, go check him out. He doesn't need me to plug him, that's for sure. He's doing very well, but that's my favorite YouTuber. What's yours?
I wasn't ready for that. I was reading.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's your favorite YouTuber?
You.
Me?
Yeah. My husband.
Lame.
Yay.
She took the easy way out.
I did. Do we have any mods on the Rebel? No, and we're not going to.
Yes, we
because
are.
it's expensive.
Absolutely. Let's do it. I actually have a list prepared. I'm not joking, of things that I want to do to the Rebel.
Yeah, my motorcycle stock, our Skidoo is stock. I know someone asked that too, and the Rebel stock. Now I'm a bit of a hypocrite because my truck, my Tacoma, is not stock. I got the leveling kit, the tint, the bigger tires, the upgraded rims, the upgraded front grille.
It's basically stock with a few sprinkles on it.
But yeah, so for now, no, because we had to make some prioritizations, and we got a new sled instead of an exhaust for the truck. Not bad.
We don't ride. We don't mind riding in the rain. We don't mind riding at night or anything like that. There's actually a lot of perks to these times that most people won't ride, like you're saying. In the rain, there's no dust, which is huge. We actually have a few photos of us like with our dust masks. You can see everything else just covered, littered in dust, which is kind of nice. And in the rain, you're nice and cool the entire time. The only problem is like 12 hours later, you're pretty soggy and you're pretty tired.
Yeah.
But
what do you think of the Kawasaki Brutes?
I've only tried 2, I believe, and they felt more like a toy than anything else. Like, not that these don't feel like toys, but they felt, I don't know, lesser to me. I don't know how to describe it. I don't have a whole lot of seat time to really have a good opinion for you folks.
So good night from Norway. Keep up the good work. Good night.
Thanks for showing up from Norway. Hello.
When is a side-by-side coming? Probably when we have kids, to be honest. There's a couple of them we could put some baby seats in.
Honestly, it's coming
Some
sooner.
car seats. My mom, Kyle, is watching. She's going, ooh, babies. No,
not
that's
that.
not what he meant.
Side by side.
I know, but the side-by-side.
We're not having kids anytime soon.
No.
We're having side by sides. We're gonna have 9-month pregnancy side by sides.
Yeah, okay. And I think that's it. So
We are wrapping up
I
this
do
video.
have to pee.
We've been on here for 1 hour and 52 minutes.
Oh my God. Okay.
I just wanted to say thank you all for all of your support over the last 2 years. It's been incredible.
Yeah.
I didn't think this many people would show up for a live stream. It's been well into the hundreds the entire time. So that's incredible. Thank you so much for being here, especially you folks from like crazy places.
Yeah.
Not that you're lesser for being like Eastern Standard Time or anything like that, but like Saudi Arabia, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, all of you crazy bastards at 2-3 in the morning, wasting your time looking at my face. Thank you very much.
And yeah, thanks for coming out. It's exciting because we have no idea what we're doing.
Don't think we don't notice you people. Like, we see people in the chat that we recognize right away. People we've met at the international sports show, people we've met on rides, people who comment on our groups a lot or participate. We see you folks. We do appreciate you folks. It's been a wild ride, and we try to pay attention to you guys as much as we can. We do get a little confused. If you messaged us 2 years ago and you want to talk to us again, I might not remember you. I'm sorry, but we do try very, very hard.
So I think it's Bridget talking right now, if I took a guess, but she saw you eating beaver tails and wants to know where we got them. So if I know if you're saying you want to try them, if you Google beaver tails, it's actually a chain in Canada. And there's probably, I don't know if you're Canadian, but there's some a little bit everywhere. There's some
We had
in Ottawa.
Americans on that video say that they have a food that's basically the same thing, but we call them beaver tails.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Scott, good night, guys. Good show from your local EST pet.
Okay. I would love to answer more of your questions, but honestly, it's 2 hours in. We are getting tired. We do have to go to the bathroom. We do have to eat things.
Reese
we are
Settings
human.
got paid to watch this, and so did my mom, actually. So, nice.
You guys are great. Hit up Facebook, hit up Instagram, hit up TikTok, subscribe, like,
share,
comment on this video, do the whole thing. Share it with your friends. Do us a favor. If you want to do more, of course, we have hats, shirts, and stickers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you pay me enough, you can even have my wife. We will see you guys next time. Kidding.
Fucker.
See you, dudes.